أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وآل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Prophet Muhammad was born in the year 570, known as al-Aam al-Fil, or the year of the elephant. He occupies an important role within the Islamic culture and is reviewed as the greatest personality within the religion. A man whose life has to be examined with depth, for there are many lessons that we can learn. Therefore, it is very important to discuss the life of our Nabi, peace be upon him, since the day he was born till the day of his death. First thing we must know is that we have to try and take many practical lessons from him, as well and try and fit them in our life. Second is to remove any misconceptions in the biography, for there was a time in the medieval Europe where he was seen as a devil incarnated, or he was seen as the false Messiah. This is why we need to dissect the biography in order that we show him in his true light, as a mercy for mankind. Now, at the age of 12, the Prophet would latch on to Abu Talib, to the extent that Abu Talib himself narrates that one day I was going to Syria and the Prophet latched on to me. When I looked into this boy's eyes, I felt sorry for this orphan boy. So I said to myself, let me take him with me. On the way to Syria, they went past the monastery. They went into the monastery, they saw a monk. Abu Talib said to the monk, we wish to reside the night here. The monk looked at Abu Talib, he said, you can sleep and eat whatever you want. But Abu Talib, I want to ask you one question. Abu Talib said, you can ask me. The monk looked at Abu Talib and said, you know that young man who was walking alongside you? Bring him tomorrow. Abu Talib said, very well, I will bring him tomorrow. The next day, when Abu Talib brought Nabi Muhammad to the monk looked at him, and this is one of our proofs that at the age of 12, the Prophet had this proof and this knowledge of God. He already had the knowledge of God. When the monk saw him, he said to him, in the name of Allat and Uzza. The Prophet looked at the monk, he said, do not bring those names in front of me, for those are the most detested of names. The monk said to him, I want to give you sadaqah. The Prophet looked and he said, we don't accept sadaqah. The monk said, can I see the signs between your shoulders? The Prophet allowed him to see. When he saw his shoulders, he looked at Abu Talib, he said to him, did you know that this young man is the Prophet whom Jesus and Musa spoke about? Abu Talib looked at the monk, he said to him, how did you know? The monk said, forget these signs. When you're walking and Prophet Muhammad was walking alongside you, I saw every tree bow down after you left it. You see, at the age of 12 and even after the age of 12, the Prophet had this innate love for justice and removal of oppression. You see, people nowadays are too focused on halal, haram, wajib, makruh. They don't focus on removing oppression and doing justice. Now, when the Prophet started his mission, when Jibreel told him his mission and he started, he did not go and say to the people, he did not say, everyone salat right now, pray. Everyone Shahr Ramadan, fast now. All you men keep your beards and all you women wear a hijab. No. The Prophet told to the people, he said, O people of mankind, I ask you to have 1 hour of reflection, for it is greater than 70 years of dry worship. Muqdad, when he heard this hadith, he was confused because he heard 3 other people saying different things. The first of them, he said that the Prophet told him that 1 hour of reflection is greater than 1 year. The second companion says that the Prophet told him that 1 hour of reflection is greater than 7. The third said that the Prophet told him that 1 hour of reflection is greater than 70 years. Now Muqdad was confused. So he went to go ask the Prophet. The Prophet told Muqdad, he said, Muqdad, follow me. Let's go ask the first companion what was his reflection. And so they went to the first companion. The first companion told Rasulullah, he said, I think about the heaven and earths, and I think to myself that these could not have come by themselves. The Rasulullah looked at Muqdad, he said, this companion's reflection is greater than 1 year of dry worship. They went to the second companion. Rasulullah asked, what was your reflection? The second companion said, I think about the day of judgment and the questions I will be asked of what I did in public and also in private. Rasulullah looked at Muqdad, he said, this companion's reflection is greater than 7 years of worship. They went to the third. They asked him. The third one said, Rasulullah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think about the hellfire and I get scared. Because you know, when you think about hellfire, everything changes. Everything you do, you think about hellfire, you change your mind. Rasulullah looks at Muqdad, he says, this companion's reflection is greater than 70 years. That was the first area. The first area was reflection. The second area that Rasulullah wanted to get rid of was racism in the community. Because in the days of the Arabian Jahiliyyah, black people were slaves. They did not have any freedom. And so, one day, Ammar was captured by the enemy of Rasulullah. The leader asked Ammar, he said, you think that Muhammad's religion is better than ours and that we have to follow him? And that he is the right religion? Ammar looked at him, he said, yes. Ammar said, explain me what Muhammad's religion is. Ammar says to the leader, he says, we have one God and one God only, and he loves his creations. On the day of judgment, he will not be judging us on our color. He will be judging us by our actions. When Bilal was next to the leader when this was happening, he heard this and he was shocked. When the leader, he said, Bilal, go torture Ammar. Bilal said, no. The leader said, Ammar, you black slave, go torture Ammar now. Bilal said, no. I've never heard of a religion where my skin is protected and where someone from my skin is honored. Now this is one of the moves of Rasulullah when he was getting rid of racism. This was one of the moves. When Bilal went to Medina, Rasulullah he called to the Medina, he said, "O Medina, O people, I want someone to call prayer." Medina said, "Oh Rasulullah, who would you like to call prayer?" Bilal looked at Bilal, he said, "I want you, Bilal, to go call prayer. In this one simple move, he showed to the people of Medina that no matter what your color is, you are a human. Now that's the second area. The third area the Prophet, the Rasulullah wanted to get rid of was disrespect to other religions. Because you see, Muslims nowadays, if they see a Christian, they start talking about him. He's like, oh, this guy believes in crucifixion, we don't believe in crucifixion. But that's not what our Prophet told us to do. He told us to respect other religions. When he was getting rid of this, Ja'far and his companions, they were being tortured. So Rasulullah said to the Ja'far and his companions, said, go to Abyssinia in Africa, for there is a Christian priest there. I want you to meet him. So Ja'far and his companions, they went to Abyssinia. They went to the church, the Abyssinian priest's church. When the priest saw them, he said, who are you? Ja'far said, we are the people of Medina and we are Muslims. The priest looks at him, he said, what is Islam? Ja'far said, we believe in all the prophets and we believe there's only one God. Jesus is one of the prophets that we believe in, and we have a whole chapter named after Maryam, his mother. And he said, what do you guys think, what do you people think about Jesus? He said, Ja'far said to the priest, he said, we believe that he was born from a virgin birth. Now, that's the third area that Rasulullah wanted to get rid of. The last area, and the last area I will be talking about tonight, is disrespect to the other gender. Because in the Arabian Jahiliyyah, the women were being buried alive, astaghfirullah. When Rasulullah came to Medina and he noticed that these people had no moral, he realized that he had to get rid of this. He had to get rid of the disrespect to the woman. Umar ibn Khattab himself narrates, there were two things in the Arabian Jahiliyyah that made me cry. And one made me laugh. The one that made me laugh was that we had a god that was made out of dates. And when it was time to worship, when everyone was worshipping the god made out of dates, when no one was looking, they'd take a date and eat it. And then Ammar said, but there was one area that made me cry. When I had to bury my daughter, she would grab my beard. I would look away and go grab the spade. I would hit her and bury her. When the Prophet came, he had to get rid of this. So at first he said to them, do not bury your daughters. Do not bury the woman alive. Second, he told them that the dowry for the woman does not go to the father, because in the Arabian Jahiliyyah, when a daughter gets dowry, it would go to the father. Third is that he told them that heaven lies underneath of your wife or your mother, of any woman. There was this Christian boy who became Muslim. He came to Rasulullah. He said to him, "O Rasulullah, I am Muslim and my mother is Christian. How do I treat her now?" Rasulullah looked at the son of the Christian mother and he said to him, treat your mother better than you used to treat her. So when this Muslim boy went home, he did all the chores, he cleaned the house, anything his mother wanted, he would do. So his mother looked at him and she said to him, ever since you've become Muslim, you've been helping me more than you used to. Why? The Muslim boy says to his mother, our Prophet, our Rasulullah said to me that heaven lies underneath your feet. Christian mother looked at her son and she said, if your Prophet believes in this, I want to join your religion.